A few days ago, after I put my short about synchronicities online, I checked it and it had exactly 111 views. And the thumbnail of the short was 1111, of course, because it was about synchronicities. But having exactly 111 views, I was a little baffled. Was it a coincidence? Maybe. But I still thought of this as another kind of synchronicity, basically a synchronicity inside a synchronicity, because the short was about synchronicities. Because if you ever have experienced moments like this, you know that it feels like somebody, the universe or your higher self, whoever is nudging you a little bit and like whispering, yes, you are paying attention. The term synchronicity was coined by Carl Jung. Carl Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist and he was quite famous, and once one of his patients was a woman and she didn't respond at all to his treatment. They had many sessions before and she was on guard, she was guarded, and she dismissed her emotions as unimportant. So at this day, at this session, she told him about a dream she had. She dreamed about a golden scarab. This is a beautiful beetle, beautiful shimmering golden beetle, and she received this beetle as a present in her dream. So right then, as if on cue, Jung heard something tapping at the window, and he went to the window and opened it, and a big beetle flew in, and he caught the insect inside his room and looked at it, and it was a beetle that was very, very close to the beetle his patient dreamed about. He handed it to her, and her face changed as she saw almost the same beetle she dreamed about. And suddenly her walls came cracking down, and she started crying. For the first time, the work was moving forward, not through logic, but just through meaning. Something deeper was speaking now. And from then on, the treatment of her made good progress. So Jung defined those events as acausal connecting principle. So inner psychological events are linked to outer incidents from the outside world, but in a non-causal way. So there is no causal relationship between the beetle flying in and what happened inside this room. So, and as you see, this is not about just numbers. It can be all sorts of things. You think of a friend you haven't met for 3 years, for example, and suddenly he gives you a phone call. And so there can be lots of things. You think of something, you see it in the street suddenly, or just like it happened to me. I was trying to manifest gold bullions, and in the evening I was switching on the TV just without any intention. I was just switching on any channel, and I watched I saw a documentary about Fornox. So it can be anything basically. And I asked myself when I heard this, might this be a kind of precursor to manifestation? So I myself, I'm not thinking that synchronicities are some kind of magic tricks or some cosmic algorithms, even when the cosmos is based on mathematics. I see them more as a road signs, little alignments that ask you to look closer, some kind of hints maybe. And in a way, they are telling you, you are not alone. They are not always loud. Sometimes they confirm that we are on the right track. And we feel this when seeing them, often. Not always, of course. Other times they might remind us to pause. But you can't, at least I cannot, decode every number, and there's also no need to decode every single number. If you want to do this, you can do it on the internet. Just enter Google and give in angel number and then the number you would like to have, and you will get some answer to this. But keep in mind, this is just a suggestion and it is not necessarily true, but it can be some kind of, it can give some kind of impulse to you. So as for myself, I don't, I'm not decoding, I'm not trying to decode every number. I was asking myself also, what is the meaning of this all? Because I tell you later on in this video, I'm also seeing different numbers, sometimes the 22 or the 7 or also other numbers. But you first of all, most important, you just have to notice. You just have to notice them, and sometimes if you are calm enough and relaxed enough, a feeling will come up telling you what this is all about. And then you will know what this number means for you. Because I think those numbers can or are also personal events. It's personal to you. It's happening between you and this event. For me, it started when I was at university. I was in my 20s, I think. And one Saturday afternoon, I had nothing special to do. I was just waiting for some friends to arrive. And so I just was flicking through an old folder I had there from the past with some bills and some stuff inside, some papers and so on. And I just noticed, oh, there was a car breakdown, and this was exactly the date when I met, or not for the first time, but when a girl I knew from university became my girlfriend. So after the car breakdown, she picked me up, and so this all happened at the 22nd of a month. And the next bill, also a car breakdown, was also the 22nd of another month. And maybe half a year later or before, not sure, it's quite a long time ago. And also other things, important tests at university, or other events, some kind of parties where something special happened. So many things happened at the 22nd. And I asked myself, why is this? By chance, it should happen all over the months, I think, but it happened at the 22nd, quite often. Not always, of course, but quite often. And then about a digital clock. And I was always, when I looked at this clock, I was always seeing the 7 at the end. And I made up some little calculation, which is not really difficult. During an hour, you can see the 7 at the end of those digits. You can see it 6 times. So roughly every 10th time, you should be able to watch at the clock and see the 7. But for me, it was far more often. So this was also something that baffled me a little. First, I said, okay, I just shrugged it off and said, okay, maybe it's a coincidence. But then after a while, I leaned in and I said, okay, it must mean something. And then it happened. I saw those numbers and I just took a small risk. I didn't like risking things at this time, so I wasn't a very risky guy. And also I said yes to some kind of opportunity that came to me. And slowly, over time, things were getting better for me. Things shifted. Not magically, but clearly. I could notice it. There was a shift, and it shifted, things shifted clearly. There was a connection maybe, a new idea, success here and there. Many things, small and big. And did the number cause this? No, of course not. Probably not. But maybe it helped. It helped to shift my personality, and it helped to shift my mindset. And it traveled with this moment. And it felt like something was in sync, like the road sign I mentioned before. So in sync with what, you will ask? Well, I right now still don't fully know, but it mattered to me. So in sync maybe with the flow of life, maybe with the path that would be there for me if there is something like this. There can be many explanations for this, and I'm pretty sure if you are thinking, when you are seeing those numbers, if you are thinking about your personal meaning, you'll also find your personal meaning of those numbers. It is not necessarily the same for all of us. So, what to do with all these synchronicities? First of all, don't chase them. Just notice. I chased them too a little bit because I knew, okay, on the 22nd there were many important things happening in my life. So I was expecting the next 22nd was arriving, and I was expecting something special, good or bad, to happen. And what happened? Nothing. So I think it's of no use chasing this stuff, but just notice them. And when something repeats, like a number, a word, a symbol, just stop for a while and say, ask yourself, what was I just thinking? And what decision am I avoiding right now? Am I avoiding a decision right now? What is this reflecting back to me? Can there be any special meaning of this? And you might not always get a clear answer, and that's okay. If not, then maybe the next time. But alone the awareness might shift things. The awareness, when you look at the watch or at other events, something is repeating, and over time it will shift things if you are aware of those things. And of course, we don't always get huge, big signs. Sometimes the signs are just a little echo, and a pattern, a moment occurring, and a soft tug of your attention. Maybe synchronicities they are the way how the universe says, I see you, keep going. Or maybe they are just you, speaking from the deepest part of yourself. Some call it the higher self, you can call it differently. So, speaking from the part that already knows where you are headed. And whether it's the universe or just you, the message is the same. Just pay attention. Listen to you, listen inside you, and sometimes you will get something. Have you ever experienced something like this? A moment that felt just too aligned to be random? Tell me in the comments, I would love to read your personal story. And till then, see you in the next one, and bye for now.